Welcome into the OVR streaming network. This is a brand new edition of All Eyes on Cleveland. My name is Brad Ward. Glad to be broadcasting to you here tonight. I see you all filing into the chat. What is happening? Barry McBride saying, slam that like and subscribe button. We like it. Do it. Do all the things, as Casey says. The man next to me is the one and only Casey Kinnamon. Follow him on Twitter at Casey_Kinnamon. What's that say?
On site.
On site, Case. It's on site. If you don't recall the reference, the slamming. I am into that, fat man. The scumbag wide receivers from the Cincinnati Bengals went on a podcast with Ryan Clark.
Yeah, the pivot.
Is it his podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, it's on site. It's on site.
And that was them coming off the Super Bowl, and you could see where their headspace was. You know what I mean?
They were still thinking about the Browns. Yep. So Fumble says, who's next to get? Oh, we're going to get to all of it, Fumble. Don't you worry. Thank you guys all for joining us tonight. The Gardos are up 2-1 on a Kyle Manzardo ding dong. Hanging in there in the sixth right now. Runner on second. Yankees going to the bully. So, got to get this win tonight, Case. That's it. I know you don't care about baseball at all, but
but I care about your guys' well-being, and I know we got enough stuff going against us. So, I'm not gonna. I would never stand against that.
Yeah,
go Guards.
Exactly. I know you wouldn't. That's why I brought it up. So go Guards. Yeah, and So good to see you. Over 200 of you here filing in. If you're over on X, hop on over to youtube.com/Orange and Brown Report. We've got shows every night of the week, basically, except for Saturday night, I think is the only night that we don't. Is that right?
Okay. That is true.
I have the schedule here. So this is what it looks like all week long when you're hanging out with the OBR. Quincy Carrier on Mondays, OBR Weekly with the great Barry McBride, who was just in the chat, and the legend Fred Greetham. After that, at 8 p.m., Quincy doing a great job on Monday Night Live. The Dog's House on Tuesdays. It's the all Mike O'Keefe show.
All Mike all the time.
On Tuesday nights, yep, and all Mike all night, and they do the for that, and then Garage Beers after the Doghouse, the React on Wednesday, which we did a monster show last night. I saw today was already up over like 2,000 views, so. Thank you all who have tuned in to that one. As I know you guys all love when I play videos that get Pete angry, and you guys love that stuff. So all eyes on Cleveland. You're watching right now. Things I think I know tomorrow night. And of course, the pre and post on Sundays, which are epic in themselves.
Yeah, you could add Jacob Roach's prospect show on Friday. I believe he's doing a mock draft this week, which it's unfortunately mock draft season already.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
You could say that. I guess it is. I don't know.
Yeah, when they started accumulating more picks, that's where people's minds go. It's, so.
Yeah.
I did my first mock draft today. I didn't make it to Halloween. I'm disgusted with myself.
I'm not doing that.
I did.
What do you think this meant?
Does it do its wide receiver one tweets? I don't know. Move or rust.
Any idea?
I don't know. Maybe he felt he was being stagnant, and now he's moving on to his fourth team.
Yeah, I would advise you to tune into Jacob's show. It's fantastic. He's doing prospects. He's getting you covered on all that stuff ahead of time. Yeah, this was stuff from last night. We covered the Nick Chubb article. I'm writing on Chubb. Currently, it'll be out on Saturday morning. Trying to do it justice.
Yeah,
And you know, well timed, much needed
yeah.
article from Nicholas. What were your thoughts, Casey?
I mean, Harvey Dent said it, man. It's always darkest before the dawn. Feels pretty damn dark right now.
Yeah.
The fact that Nick Chubb's coming back, that's like the one beacon of light that we had to look at. And even we don't even know what his role is going to be right away, but it's just the fact that we're going
That's
to see Nick
besides the
Chubb.
point,
Well,
right?
it is, but I know a lot of people would look, man. Am I going to be surprised if he rips off a couple big runs? I won't, but I don't think that they're going to try to run him into the dirt, especially given where this team is at. But
No,
just him coming back, dude, it soothes the soul.
it does.
It reminds you of what is good. What is, like it was ripped away from us last year, ripped away from him. That article on the Players Tribune, man, I'm not like I teared up a few times. Like I had to
Yeah,
stop reading it at
there's
one
no
point.
doubt.
I had to stop reading it at one point and then go back to it because like I was emotional. And the phrase "he gets us," it's almost been used to the point now where it's like satirical.
Yeah,
This is one that is apropos. That is us. You know what I mean? And he understands the situation. He knows the assignment. He knows what he's here for. Like, God
yeah,
bless. We're going to be telling our kids about we saw Nick Chubb.
yeah.
So
Uh,
huge.
World's fastest saying, "I wasn't crying, you were crying."
I was, man.
It was a little. Yeah, I agree.
Teared up.
Well said here. I got a little misty. Yeah. I mean, how can you not? The guy. I mean, the article itself, he lets you in, right? And this is a guy that doesn't say two words to anybody, and he lets you in on everything from the injury all the way back to college and through his grandma. I mean, you would have thought he is a journalist. Who said that? Stefanski. He's a better
Stefanski, yeah,
journalist than all of you. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, he did a heck of a job. It was well written. It was well thought out. It was, full circle on the whole thing.
Mhm.
I mean, it was what I needed on a day that Coop was being shipped out of town, and the Browns are 1-5, and your starting quarterback is a guy that nobody wants to watch play football anymore, and that's where you're at now. Did you read Things I Think I Know this week?
No, I did not. I have not. I've been dealing with crazy things on all fronts at my house right now with
Sorry.
water and HVAC going. Whole things have happened. So I
You
did not.
got is this hurricane related?
Some of it's post hurricane related with all the electrical outages. Some electrical surges went through, fried some appliances. So yeah, I mean, in effect, didn't I haven't had a dishwasher since the the uh, the hurricane. We didn't have hot water in the kitchen either. Like there's all kinds of things that have messed up. Hot water heater issues, and then the HVAC went out upstairs and downstairs. Things got fried. So
Man, I'm sorry.
it's been
That's
eventful.
brutal, man. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's all right, man.
Anyways, uh,
We'll persevere.
yeah. Uh, so Gardos are up 3-1 now.
Nice.
The article I wrote on Tuesday, comes out every Tuesday morning. Things I Think I Know, and I said the Browns are gaslighting their fan base.
Hmm.
They are.
Yeah. There's a huge gap in what our expectations were versus where they were prepared to take this if one certain player didn't play up to standard.
Um, I
They're
don't know how he can sit up there in front of everybody and say he gives you the best chance to win.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
infuriating.
Yeah, very, very much so, man. Like, and the blood's on all their hands. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I still believe the whole, it's their plan. This is their, but they didn't anticipate it going like this, but this was part of it. This was, if it starts to nosedive, we're going to steer the plane into the mountain. You know, they're being opportunists in this moment. They have such a bad quarterback. They're going to use that to get a high draft pick. They could pull the ripcord. They could have tried to salvage this weeks ago. They've chosen not to. You know what I mean? And at here we are, you know, our expectations are one thing. They were prepared to steer this thing right into the mountain.
I don't know about that. You see, you think they're prepared to just steer it right into the mountain? Like that's it?
Who's your starting quarterback this weekend?
I agree with that. Barry says he does give you the best chance to win. It's just he does in 2026 after we've had a year with the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah, that's part of being the opportunist. They're going to use this play to net you the quarterback of the future.
I get the point. I don't think it's fair to any of the fans. I don't think it's fair to anybody in that locker room. And I don't think it's the play. This is the weekend that you should be making the transition to Jameis Winston because you got this Nick Chubb coming back. You're coming home. He has been all-time bad. This is a analytics organization. The analytics are in case. He is Jamarcus Russell level all-time bad. Did you read Bill Barnwell's article?
No, I didn't read the article, but I saw the tweets coming out from Austin Gale, all the lists that Deshaun Watson now is part of. And it's
798 teams since the year 2000, Case. 798 teams since the year 2000. Red zone trips, this team is 784th. Offensive penalties, this team is 795th. So that means they're 3 away from worst, right? Yards to go on third down, 795th. And here you go. Third down conversion rate, 797th out of 798 teams since the year 2000. This offense is all-time bad. It's all-time. You got to scrap it, man.
Is this where we point out it's the most expensive offense in the NFL?
You got to scrap it at this point. So, and let me ask you this question. So Pete said last night that he thought the Cooper trade, right? The trading of Cooper, and surprise, I agree with this a little bit. I do agree with it, actually. Is a sign that they aren't doubling down on Watson and that they will be willing to move off of him. Because if they were, they wouldn't be trading Cooper away. If you were trying to maximize what he was going to be, do you agree with that?
Yeah, this isn't the move to get better. This is, you become a seller and you're kind of waving the white flag. But
right.
Why are we? The move, in my opinion, the move was halftime of the Washington game. That's it. We pull the ripcord. Sure. Now we're in Jameis. But now with this move of you moving off Cooper, when you do pivot, it's not to Winston now. When you do pivot, I believe this is the DTR when it does happen. But when is it going to happen? Are they going to ride this out through the bye? Like,
here's why I think that it'll be Winston first, right? Because
I hope you're right.
I think you have to look at Winston as a legitimate bridge. Like, you have to evaluate him. Can he be our bridge for 2025?
Why the hell would he want to? Like,
what do you mean? It's not like he's starting
he just had to sit there and listen to his head coach say that this other guy gives your team the best chance to win. No, and that's an outright lie. Like, you didn't get the ball handed to you.
Do you think
you definitely got to have some sort of feeling about being passed over?
You think Jameis is upset about that, Mr. Positivity, Mr. Been lifting Watson up this whole time? You think he's upset about that?
Deep down, yeah, man. I mean, is he going to
Okay.
let that out? Is he going to say it? No, but
He's
yeah,
gonna
he's
pass
probably
on a
disappointed.
starting job next year,
It
Case?
would
He's
be,
gonna
it would
pass.
be.
People aren't lining up to give him starting jobs around the NFL. If the
No,
Browns
I'm
are
not
gonna
saying
give
they
him
are, but I'm just saying, man, like this isn't. Oh, Watson's struggling. This is all-time bad quarterback play. Like you
right.
just gave the. If that isn't enough to pull the court, if the coach doesn't have that kind of belief that you could have salvaged this, you're 1-5. Like it's 0 hour. Like there's no you have 11 games. Realistically, you could go. You have to be at minimum 8-3 to even have an outside shot now. So this is
I,
it. Like
I'm not saying that. I'm saying he gets an audition
mhm.
to try
Nope,
to
you're right.
win a chance to be the starting quarterback in the NFL next year. Nobody else has given him that this year.
No, I'm not saying they have, but he
So
should have already. That
what?
should have already happened. The ball should have
I
already been
agree
handed to
with
him.
you that we're
And then
past it. We can't go back in time and change what's not happened. They haven't. Listen, me and you, both agree they should have moved off of Watson
yes,
since been
yeah,
gone, right?
hmm
We agree on that, right? But we can't go back and change that now.
no,
So moving forward, right? I thought this was the week to do it for sure, right?
yeah,
Like we
yeah.
said, we gave him 1
We
week
said
of
that all
grace,
last week, dude. We're
right?
if we're having this show a week from today, and it's still this, like, and it's still this.
So if it's still this now,
hmm
but if trading Cooper is a sign that they're not doubling down, whatever. They need to find a bridge next year. You're saying that he shouldn't want to be here anymore?
He's got to feel some sort of way about being passed over for all time
That's
bad play.
I get that. I get
Okay.
that. I get that. But he's still not going to try to play to win a starting job? You can't be
No, you can hand
picky
the
if
ball
you're
to Winston.
Jameis
He's going to try to
Winston.
play. He's going to try to win,
Yeah.
and if you can use him as a bridge, I'm not saying it's off the table. I'm just saying he's got to have apprehension about how this was handled. He gets to see the meeting rooms. He's in the practices. He sits and watches that same film with the coaches and just sees them running it back and running it back. Like that's got to be infuriating for someone who has the talent to play. It isn't
Yeah.
like you don't have a guy who's not ready. You have a guy that you can hand that ball off to at any point, and they've just chosen not to ride out with this. And for your plan to be true, and then to hand the ball off to Winston, what week does that happen?
I don't know. It should have already happened. I agree with you. I'm not
No.
arguing with you
We're
on that.
not. I'm talking about going forward. Like so, Watson starting this week. Is he? If do you think they're going to run him into the bye?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he could be out at halftime this game.
Oh God.
You don't think so?
No, I pray to God you're right, Brad. I have no. We're on the same side here. I just don't know when. If you haven't
I
done it
just
by
don't
now,
think
when did you
Jameis
plan
is
on
going to
doing
be
it?
all. I just don't think. Yeah, maybe deep down he's like, yeah, I should have played whatever. I should have been in at this point. But this is a guy that has had Watson's back all the way through and through. So I don't think he's really like he knew what job he was taking when he came here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to be all upset about the situation. Yes, he should have played by now. And he knows that. We know that. Everybody that's watched him knows that. The entire country knows that, Case. Everybody's piling
Mm-hmm.
on saying the same thing. Everybody knows that. But, like, I don't think he's going to hold, like, feelings over this whole situation. Like, you guys are trying to give me a chance to start next year. I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Do you want me to
That's what
argue
you
that?
think he's feeling?
No, what are you saying? I'm saying that. I'm saying he
That's
has
what
to
you're
feel some
saying.
sort of
You're
way.
saying he's
Dude,
feeling
he's an athlete. He's
apprehension.
an athlete. He has to feel some sort of way. There's
Okay.
there's no way you're watching what you're watching on the football field. He's standing there, and at no point is the ball being handed to you. And this season, you're 1-5. Like that has to hurt, man.
I
Knowing you
get
could
it.
be a difference maker, and then
But
here your
coming
coach,
in,
who you're
he
at.
knew the contract. He knew Watson. He knew what he was coming into.
Yeah, and I was hoping, and this is my expectations. This ain't their team's. Obviously, the team feels completely different. I was okay. You went and got Winston, so that in the event that something happened with Watson like it did last year, you didn't have to go through the deck and get lucky by pulling a guy in. You already had that guy on staff. But in my mind, it was like, okay, there's injury and there's bad play. So they only brought him in case there was an injury. In their mind, there was no, if he's really, really bad, we're going to pull him. Like that just their actions. I can't believe, I don't listen to anything they say. Because if you listen to what they say, Stefanski's trying to tell you he gives them the best chance to win. You don't watch that. You watch
lying. That's a lie. Yes.
Watch their actions. And their actions are getting rid of Cooper. So that shows you they're not serious. They're not a team of consequence at this point. They're a bottom of the barrel team. And they're making no actions to steer this thing back on the tracks.
Okay. At 1-5, I don't think that they were trying to do that anyways. Well, here's the thing with Cooper. I'm not saying that they're like driving it into the mountain or whatever. I'm saying that it's unfair to the fans and the players to continue to play Watson. Undoubtedly. I said it. I wrote it, and I wrote about it, and I was pissed, right? They're gaslighting all of us, and it's changed the way I feel about Stefanski, and I wrote about that too, and it bothers me because I don't want to change the way I feel about him because I know he's a good coach. I know he's smarter than this. So, you know what I mean? So this impacting the way I feel about him bothers me because I don't want to feel that way towards him, but I do. But I do feel that way towards him. So how can it not impact you when he sits up there and lies to your face every week? And they're supposed to be intelligent and understand, and they have all the numbers, and they're analytics-based organization, but they're doing the same freaking thing. And they're just running him out there. That I agree. I can't. You can't explain it away, right? But at 1-5 now, I think this was the best offer you were going to get for Cooper.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I mean,
you have to take it.
You could have possibly netted that in a compensatory pick later. It'd probably been a fourth or a third. To do it now, it makes the most sense, and it gives you more time to evaluate the younger guys to kind of step into roles and see if they can handle stuff, or if you need to, reload at the end of the offseason at that position.
But then if we're talking about Jameis, who I do think gives you the best chance to win.
Yeah.
And I think they'll get there eventually. I don't know why they haven't yet. It's insulting. Agreed. It's frustrating as all hell. But I think Jameis is the ultimate teammate, the ultimate professional, and I think he'll go out there and try to win. And I think he'll take every opportunity he can to try. I'm just saying, the whole point in saying that I think they'll still go to Jameis is that I think they're going to give him an opportunity to try to see if he can prove that he can play starting caliber football next season. Like if you're going to run through a bunch of where you look around the league right now and a bunch of teams are getting by with bridge guys that nobody gave, anybody credit for before the year. And you got Sam Darnold 5-0 with the Vikings, right?
Easily that talented, easily.
Yes. So you at least have to give him a look, right? And take him seriously. He's been a good soldier. He's done everything. He tried to prop up Watson. He is the ultimate teammate. He's a great guy to have in the locker room. We want to give him a shot to start some games, see if he can win some games, see if he can prove to us that we want to keep him around next year as a potential option as a bridge if the guy that you want isn't in the first round of the draft in this year's draft. But then you will eventually get to DTR this year because you want to give him the reps and you want to evaluate him and you want to give him valuable game experience. But I do think you want to see both because I do think you want to have as many options on the table as possible for who your starting quarterback is in 2025.
So this becomes about draft position at that point. So I don't know if they're going to give Jameis that many opportunities because he might win too many games for you. If you're that far gone, if your season's, say they wait to the bye and you've managed to win one more game between now and the bye, just fingers crossed, and you're sitting at 2-7, and you come out of the bye, and you're still in that, you're battling for that first overall pick, at least a top 5 pick. If you let Jameis rattle off 3 or 4 straight, that takes you out of that position, and you're in that middling position. I don't know if your season's that far gone, and they view it as a lost cause. I think Jameis might put you in contention to pick outside of the top 10.
Okay, so then they'll probably go to DTR then. I'm just saying, in between, I think they'll probably give him some starts at some point.
I hope you're right. Look, man, if we didn't have last year, we wouldn't have this proof of concept that this could work, that you could, you know what I mean? This is the exact type of quarterback that can do these things that Stefanski's really good at dialing up stuff for. So we know it's there. You know, to me, this has been organizational malpractice, how they've handled this entire situation. And fans have every right to be pissed off.
You mean Watson?
Yeah, how it's all been handled. Yeah,
from the get.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think I think I asked you this last week. Do you think the process was wrong in going after him?
I believe that the style of quarterback that he is wasn't going to fit with what you did at that point in time. That's not the type of quarterback Stefanski works with.
But you had Stefanski saying, "Go get him."
That's what we hear. We hear it was Barry and Stefanski brought this to Haslam's table. It sounds like it was Barry more than Stefanski, on it. But Stefanski's like, yeah, I can work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was and from that, if you were going to, instead we're doing this 2 years after the fact. You've had him for 2 years, and then like, oh, he can't do what we need to do, so now we need to change everything. But by this point, he's that bad of a player that he can't even do that stuff anymore. You know, if you were going to do that overhaul, when you went all in to get him, it should have been done right then and there.
Yeah. I think they tried to do some of that.
They tried to keep 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And his suspension played a part in that because they knew they weren't going to have him at the beginning of the year.
The first year, yeah.
Yeah, no, but lean all the way in or lean all the way out. They had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And then when Watson came back, it was just ugly and clunky. And then they tried to revert straight up to drop back, play action, turn your back to the defense, go through progressions. And that wasn't him. No, nothing's him. So, moot point.
So I want to read this because this is something that. Yeah,
because Stefanski will just tell you he needs to be better. That's all he'll say.
He'll lie to your face, right? He will. But here's the thing that nobody has done yet that I kind of wish somebody would do. Right. And this is not calling anybody out, but I wish I thought about this too, Chris. If you were in there and you were just like, Coach, you said Deshaun gives you the best chance to win. Right. The numbers say he is the worst quarterback in the league in EPA, in adjusted EPA. They say he's the worst quarterback in EPA since the year 2000 with you guys. He's ranked 794th out of 795th in teams since 2000 on third downs. He has not scored 20 points yet this year. He has single digits QBRs twice. You can't be serious, Coach. You can't be serious. Like, be honest. Like, somebody call him on it.
Yeah, he would just say, Brad, Deshaun, he knows he needs to be better. We all need to be better. We know that. That's what he's going to say. He's going to steer that right back into make it the team thing that's failing.
I know. But I still want to see or hear somebody ask it.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah. No, they should. I mean, if he's going to make ridiculous ass statements, like he gives us the best chance to win, there needs to be pushback into that.
Andy's yeah. And nobody wants to root for him because he sucks the life out of the team. Not only is he bad, but he has horrible body language. He doesn't look like he cares. He jokes around with the other team in fourth quarters when you're losing by 10. Yeah. He goes up there. He's combative in his press conference. He's a disaster.
Yeah, there's not one positive attribute I can subscribe
He
to him
is
being
a
here. Not
disaster.
one. Not a single solitary one.
I think he's gotten to the point he doesn't care. I don't think he cares anymore.
Just numb. Yeah. I mean, he got paid.
Yeah, I think at one point he cared. Like this summer, I was convinced he cared when he was on his podcast and he was talking about this and all that stuff. And um, you know, it- I don't know. Serge says the bad guy thing killed him. It did. He was the best. He was the best. Like he was lauded as the best guy
Mhm.
around everywhere,
It
right?
comes down to legacy, man. Do you give a shit about your legacy? Because people
Yeah,
aren't going to be like 20 years from now, hey man, he made a lot of money. It's going to come down to legacy and how they remember you. And it was too much for him to overcome to be despised, to be hated. And it just cascaded. Now he, like you said, he's numb out there.
it was like I was talking about with, I think me and you talked about it with Kobe.
Hmm? Yeah.
Kobe would go drop 45 in the day or at night and was
Mhm.
in the courtrooms in the day. Um, and because his mental strength, his mental toughness, right, it was on a different level, and
Yeah.
his focus was on a different level.
Well, no matter what, and it's probably more amplified when it's negative, but like the good or the bad, you got to be able to compartmentalize. None of that matters between the lines.
Doesn't matter.
That noise, that's noise, and that noise, you can't allow that to affect how you approach, how you prepare, how you attack a game. And when you're between those white lines, that's it. That's the only thing that matters. And Kobe was great at that. Like
Yeah.
anything could be happening over here, you know what I mean? But when we step on, I'm gonna put it on you. And just compete. And when you let other things creep in your mind about how people perceive you, how they're talking about you, whether they think you're good, whether they think you're bad, like none of that matters, man. And also winning cures all. Like yes, is Watson a dirtbag? It looks like yes. That'd be check that box. But if he came here and just won, and then just stacked 10 games,
People would have gotten over it.
yes, they would. It's never happening. Like you had to win. You already had all that against you. You had to win. Maybe that put too much pressure on them early on, but at the end of the day, man, if you can't handle the pressure, that's part of getting that bag. Believe that. That's part of it.
Ray Lewis murdered somebody, and he's on ESPN every Sunday night.
A year later, he was winning a Super Bowl and going to Disneyland.
Yeah. It's possible. MC saying it's possible. Coop asked for trade. I don't think he had to. I think he knew it was
When it
coming.
became clear and evident they weren't going to try to bring him back, and you're not winning. If you're winning, you keep it going because he's a valuable asset. But when you're not winning and you're not going to have anything for him, get what we can get.
And because they did that with his Trent Dilfer went to Disneyland, technically.
But when the NFL changed their licensing agreement at that point from Nike to Reebok, Ray was the face of Reebok.
Ray went to the car. Somebody else came out of that car, went in the club, and killed somebody. So
wearing his clothes.
Yeah, wearing his clothes, wearing a mask that looks like him. Yeah, so whatever you want to call it what you want to call it. But yeah,
but that noise would have been enough to crush most competitors. You wouldn't have been able to compartmentalize that as that's going on, but he was able to.
Ray, but so here's the question then. Okay, I want to get to the stadium too tonight, but at 1-5, Watson's going to go out there and play. I don't even know what to expect. Like, what do you expect from what do you think Nick Chubb is walking into on Sunday as an offensively?
I mean, this is the most inept offense we've ever seen.
But they ran the ball better last week.
They did. They did. Pierre Strong showed a pulse. Shout out to everyone in the chat who Pierre Strong truthers. He did. He showed contact balance. I didn't think that would ever happen.
Yeah, for a
But
moment.
he looked good, and Ford looked good after his one carry that he had. And then he went out. He might have had himself a game, but there was I mean, I haven't charted last week's game, but it felt more Stefanski-ish. It felt more under center. It felt more zone.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of concepts there that lent itself to the way Stefanski can dial up a run game, and people benefited. Implement Chubb, and that you feel pretty good about that. But I don't know, man. I mean, Chubb can't save all this. He gives you good vibes a little bit though, which is greatly needed. The vibes surrounding this team are at an all-time low. So to get Nick Chubb back, that'll be a little bit of feel good. Will be enough to save the offense from boo birds when they go 3 and out 6 straight times or whatever. No, it won't be. People are going to be angry. This game's going to be untenable at home unless you get off to a fast start.
I wrote that I thought if Chubb was not playing, you would see an ugly scene before the game started.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you imagine if they were to announce the offensive players before this game? Like how that goes down? And you kind of want to because it's Chubb. If they're going to like put him out there to get that, but I don't think you can. I think you're going to have to announce your defense this week. And
yeah. Listen, I think that out of respect for Chubb, there will be he's kind of shielding him in this game from what could be a really, really ugly scene, right?
they did it yesterday. They let him talk before Watson in the pressers. That definitely eased the tensions. That you know what I mean? Like that's nasty work by the PR team.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing it. They're using him as
they know
the shield for this man, which is even more disgusting if you think about it. I don't want him in the same room as Watson. Really, he shouldn't have to even be around him at this point. Man, I just wish they could just end this whole thing, man.
I'm telling you, man, it's the halftime of that Washington game. That was the move. That was right then and there. He had played bad enough
Send
that
him
no
to his
one
house.
could defend it, and you could have literally just marched Jameis out there,
shot him out of a cannon.
Say that again.
Shot him out of a cannon.
Right into the sun.
Shot him right out of the stadium.
Right into the sun. Fire that dude into the sun. And then Jameis is your starting quarterback. And then imagine this week if Jameis was already your starting quarterback. Say you win last week, and then you're going into this game with Chubb coming back. Man, it'd be a party down there, man.
The letter was perfect. Perfect timing. Gives you some feel good in a time where everything else feels like is burning to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But the ultimate thing is this. The thing that you have to remember, and you're going to hate this because I'm going to be positive for a second, but the ultimate thing is this. After this season, whatever we have to go through this season, and it's extremely frustrating that we even had to get this far because it should have been pivoted off of already, right?
Yeah. You could have salvaged the season. You
could have salvaged it. Yeah.
Yep.
I think you could have tried. You should have tried to.
I don't think you're any worse than 3-3 right now. Have you pulled the trigger?
Agree. Serge saying if we were 3-3 and he was coming back, it would be electric. I think it's going to be electric Sunday regardless. But either way, here we are. And it needed to be done earlier to save the season. And okay, it is what it is. But the plan remains the same forward from here. So, I mean, you've had to have seen what you saw from Watson. I don't know how long they're going to teeter-totter between, we want to keep running him out there. I don't know if they're trying to make sure that everybody around the country knows how bad he is before they sit him. I don't know what the purpose
Mission accomplished,
is.
man.
Yeah, already done, right?
Done.
But either way, there is a way out of this, and you can compete next year and in
Mhm.
26. This stuff has been laid out by the great Jack Duffin.
Mhm.
Um, and Mike Florio said it yesterday. You have to pay him. You don't have to play him, right?
Yeah, you just take a
And
page out of the 2021 Texans
yes,
book. You pay that dude to stay home.
yeah. So either he's your backup, uh, I love that. That was great. I needed that. So yeah, off the top rope is right from Barry there. Um, but like moving out of here, following the Jack Duffin model, which I think kind of keeps Barry's job safe. Like, don't you think that the way that he's constructed everything financially in the plan that Jack has laid out for everybody over the years has shown that, like, I don't think they can just fire him.
Yeah. If you hand this off to someone else and can't maintain this going forward, then those things come home to
You're
roost.
really screwed.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we're
He's
negative
almost
60 in the cap, and
he's almost paved like he's almost secured his own job in the way that he's constructed things.
unless they kept it internal and went with like an understudy. But yeah, I see.
It
I don't
might be
know,
wrong.
man. This is their plan, dude. Like this. There's some Faustian agreement behind the scenes in there. I don't think people are losing their. I mean, people will want them to lose their jobs, and the only way that someone actually loses their job is if Jimmy gets too much heat and needs to deflect. That's what makes it dicey. But they're
It makes
executing
him
their plan.
very hard to move off of. And I don't think that despite Stefanski lying to our faces and pissing everybody off, I don't think that they're going to move off him either. Do you?
No, I said it all last week. This is their plan. You might not like their plan, but they're executing it right now. Like there's an understanding behind the scenes of what could happen here, and they're letting it ride. If it was Stefanski being rogue, there would be something happening. But he's doing what everyone wants him to do, and that forces him to lie to us because you
Uh,
can't do what you're doing and not lie to us.
I
Like
disagree about him doing what everybody wants him to do, but
he'd be fired, Brad. If he went into their room and said they were like, "Hey, it's time. Let's move off of him," and he's like, "I play who I want. It's my team." There would be
they
things we'd
wouldn't
hear.
fire
You would
him.
also hear things. We'd be hearing. We're not hearing any
They
disconnect from
wouldn't
them
fire him. And why do they want to play him anymore?
because he's getting him a draft pick now.
So this is tank. That's your point. You think they're tanking?
You don't by sending him out there. You're giving yourself no chance to win.
No, I don't think that's why they're
They're being
doing that.
opportunists, man. They're seeing an opportunity here, and they're going to use this guy to get us a draft pick. And they might not even take that draft pick this year. People keep overlooking this. They could use this draft pick to trade back and accumulate a big move up in next year's draft or the year after. This is a long
I
play. They're not just
I don't
playing for now, they're playing for the future.
I don't think they're tanking. I really don't.
You think they're trying to win by sending him out there?
I think they're trying to win when they send him out there. I don't think that sending him out there is their primary reason for sending him out there. I think. Have you been listening to Mary Kay Cabot?
You mean
The
Haslam's
answer,
mouthpiece?
I know that I know the answer to that because I forgot you were blocked by her.
Yeah. I've been shunned by the light that is Mary Kay.
She is steadfast in the messaging about Watson.
Mm-hmm.
That this is the right move to play him. She will not get off it. She will stay. She is like, he needs to play. This is the best thing for them. They need to know exactly what he is moving forward. We're there. We've reached that. It's all time bad. Like, so, whatever. We know that. I don't know why Stefanski is continuing to run him out there, but I don't think. Yeah, exactly, Paul. We know what he is. We do. I don't think Stefanski is just following orders.
I must say they're in lockstep. That's
Yeah,
the thing that we praised them for in years past is the same thing that is crushing us now. They
but
are
I
in
don't think
lockstep.
it's to tank. I don't know why he's still playing him, which is what's so frustrating because I don't want him to see him lose his job, but it's putting his job unnecessarily in jeopardy.
Mhm.
No?
Yeah, dude, he's got Jameis Winston right there. We don't have
I
to be
know.
doing this.
I
Yeah, well,
but
yeah,
but
it is.
if they are truly in lockstep, like you said, then he should be fine, right?
Yes, that's the reason I think this is their plan, man. They're doing it. They're executing.
I hate it so much.
I know, me too. Look, man, my dude, we did the show. This was a team of consequence for me. This is a team that shouldn't just say who wins the AFC North. This team had the opportunity to say who represents the AFC, and they allowed this to happen. They've allowed this to happen, and it's an insult to us, to people who put all their time in, to people who put their money in, to season ticket holders, to the other 52 men in that locker room, even the kids on the practice squad. Man, this is an insult, man. Yeah, you're going to be hard pressed to convince me they're putting everything they can into winning right now.
I, I yeah, I'm not saying I think we on the day to day they are. I just think that running Watson out there is an easy way to lose games,
Boy, is it.
right?
Yeah, they went 27 third downs in a row without converting.
26, but
Was
yeah,
it 26?
I think so. Maybe
I heard
26.
27.
No
Either way,
matter.
that is
Once you're in
god
the high
awful.
20s, just call it
I'd
40.
take Nathan Peterman over what we're seeing right now.
I'd take anybody. Spencer Rattler's playing tonight. He looks better.
Bo Nix looks better. Look at their
Bo
stats.
Nix looks better.
This is crazy. This is crazy talk. You know what I mean? That's just
It's also the offense, though, too. I mean, let's not forget that they are riddled with injuries from Jump Street.
mhm.
That's a lot of this, too. Right?
Yeah, but we saw them overcome that last year. That's the most disappointing thing to me, Brad, is you want to believe you're going into year 5 of this regime, right? We want to feel like we've built something, we've raised
You
the
have.
floor of what's
You have.
possible. And we saw
You have.
them deal with this adversity last year and just keep moving forward and keep that positive messaging. And even when PJ Walker's out there, like you saw the defense flying around, you saw people lifting other people up. And then the reality sets in now that you're here. This is also a regime that hasn't stacked 2 back-to-back winning seasons. Like, have they really built that floor up? I don't know,
Yeah.
man. Like, I would have
They
bet everything
They've had
after
the
last
most
year.
They've had the most success of any regime since '99 by a 10
Yeah,
miles.
but that can't be the comparison. That was good at first.
Why?
Because I don't give a shit about Phil Savage and like that's
You
not
don't
what I'm
care
here
that they
for.
won 11
If you
games
want to
last year?
win, you need to compare yourself to the Ravens. I hate to say it. You
You
got to
don't
compare
care
yourself
that
to
they
the
won
Steelers.
11 games last year?
Of course I do. I'm
Or
not
they went to the playoffs 2 of the last 4 years?
the floor. It needs to be raised. You're 1-5. In my mind, that team can't be 1-5. So you will never see the Ravens at 1-5, or God, I hate to say it, the Steelers will never be
Casey,
1-5 because
Case,
they're full.
you know that this situation with Watson is not a typical scenario.
Yeah, of course I do.
So let's
It
not
wasn't
act
typical
like it's
last year when you were
normal.
winning games. You
Let's
found
not
ways.
act like this is normal scenario then.
Who is? You got to weather the storm. They have not weathered. They've withered. They've done the opposite. They have done the exact opposite of that. We watched them face adversity head on and conquer it last year. You know, and that's coaching staff too. I'm not putting this all on the players. You know what I mean? Like as a whole, they have not been up for the challenges. They have not been up week to week. You know, that go 1-0. We got to go. You know, that whole mentality is not persevering. And to me, if that's your internal messaging and it's failing,
This year it hasn't, but I think that has a lot to do with them coming in injured, a really weird offseason where you had nobody available, a really weird offense that nobody really knows. I don't think Stefanski even really knows what he wants to run at this point because you're like, you're still 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
Dorsey
Yep.
and Stefanski. and it's not working. And Aaron Judge just tied the game. That's unreal. Off Class A. Unbelievable. But yeah, so Barry says, don't know if they believe, but they are desperate enough to try. I also wrote, F Aaron Judge as well. Yeah, absolutely. So the thing about, I mean, how does Class A not get you out of? I'm flustered.
Yeah.
Because of this game. So, yeah, the Yankees have thrown me off. What was I saying? Chase.
We're talking about the lack of stability from year to year.
The lack of stability?
Yeah, from last year to this year. That's what I was speaking on.
Yeah, I would say that's from last year to this year, but in the other 4 years, they've been pretty stable.
Yeah,
No?
I mean, but they haven't won they haven't stacked back-to-back winning seasons, and that's you got to do that, man. You got to get to that
been
point.
riddled by this decision, though.
Yeah, that was
right?
the same thing was true last year.
I agree, and they overcame. But what I'm saying is, like, don't you think that they've earned enough to move on past this?
Yeah, I'm not calling for anyone's jobs.
Oh, okay.
I want to feel like they've built a higher floor than they actually have. Coming into the season, I knew a few things, and that was one of them. This team could overcome adversity. I knew it. I knew that they would be good at home, and the things that I thought that I knew have not proven to be true, which shakes my faith. Like that's their play on the field is shaking my faith.
Yes,
some of the things that I believed were cornerstones of what they had already built aren't in fact stable. You know, like in no way am I comparing this to 1-31. We've been to the depths. We've seen how bad it can be. This feels just as bad because you actually have expectations. You didn't then. That was the plan then. The plan was to tank, accumulate picks, do all these things, and then you're still in the process of carrying that out. You're the extension of that. But I just felt like coming into the season, this would be a team that we could count on to weather injuries and 1-0. The thing that worked last year is just not working this year
because of the quarterback.
I know, no shit. He's the quarterback, but they did it with him as the quarterback last year.
No,
dude, 4-1 in the games he started and finished. They were still winning games, but despite him not being good. By the way,
the defense was playing at an all-time level last year.
Yeah,
and he was a lot better last year.
Yeah. I'm not. There was no single-digit performances in QBR, but there were very similar performances for the mid-level games that he's played.
And he was playing in Stefanski's system, which allowed him to have at least decent success.
Yeah. Yeah, they changed that. They moved off that.
Full-fledged, flushed everybody, changed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't, with the amount, like, yes, I agree. What they did last year was incredible. In the face of
and that's my fault for expecting similar effort on all fronts again this year.
It's not your fault, but I thought they would rally in the same way, but it's not the same team. Just because the same players are on the roster doesn't make it the same team.
No, but the good franchises are able to pull continuity year to year of certain aspects. Now the players are going to change, but like there's going to be it's the reason that the dudes we hate in our own division have a base level of success that they will not go below, regardless of what happens on the field.
I'm just saying, regardless, overcoming what Watson is doing this year is not in the cards.
Yeah, obviously, you're 1-5.
So you should have pivoted off of him if you wanted a chance to win.
Damn straight, you could have salvaged it. You chose not
You
to.
could have salvaged it.
That's when I say they're staring into the mountain. They could pull the nose up of the plane. They could do that if they wanted. They're choosing to do this instead. Now that this is their trajectory.
Guardians played a perfect game, up 3-1, went into the 8th, got 2 outs with Gaddis. For some reason, decided to go to Class A to face the middle of the order, and Judge went yard to tie the game, and Stanton went yard right after him to take the lead. So,
The Stanton was
that's
a
great.
one-run shot.
Yeah,
So you down 4-3.
4-3 in the top of the 8th, which is brutal. I don't know how your Cy Young candidate closer chokes that bad twice in the playoffs now. This is a guy who didn't give up a home run when they were ahead or tied in his career coming into the postseason. He's done it 3 times now in the postseason. Yeah, I know that's why Gaddis got pulled, but I don't think they should have pulled him. It doesn't matter. You've got to get better from your closer.
Yeah, for sure.
It's possible. It is possible that God really does hate Cleveland. No. Yeah, I both home runs in 11 pitches. Yeah, tough one there. So maybe they can rally. But man, they played a perfect game up to this point. They had control of the game the whole time. So, anyways, all right, let's pivot off this. We've kind of beat this into the ground, right? The Watson stuff. Do you think that the trade of Cooper though does give you some hope that they might pull Watson halfway through this game or something? Or do you think he's going to play this whole game?
I was on record saying he wouldn't make it back to Cleveland after the 3-game, after dropping 3 straight on the road and being historically bad. Not just playing like some tough breaks here or there, like you've been historically bad and they didn't do it, knowing the bus all they're facing when they go in that stadium. I fear they're going to play him now. Like I didn't, and I have nothing to prove to me otherwise. Like if they're willing to start him in this game, what's going to stop them? He's going to need to be injured. I wish it wasn't so.
I wish he would have got hurt by now.
I've seen this dude
How has he not been injured by now?
I've seen him get lit up too, man. I keep going back to that one goal line play against Washington where there's a rub route on the goal line. He doesn't make the throw. He ends up scrambling, going nowhere, facing the opposite end zone and gets lit up helmet to helmet from Daron Payne, drove him to the ground, and no concussion protocol. Just none.
They do, Barry. They do. They have a legitimate shot at it. They got to get tougher right in the trenches. That's all I'll say. Because they should have beat Oregon. I expected them to go in there and push them around.
Yeah.
And they got pushed around a little. I was expecting true Big Ten team, Ohio State, going to go out to Oregon. Oregon looked a little soft, and I mean, not the case. They were, just as physical. So,
and especially you got what happened against Oregon. Like, was it 2 or 3 seasons ago, where they're, you know what I mean? Like, so you have a lot of those guys are still on the team. You have that motivation to go right or wrong too. On top of that,
neutral site, I think the Ohio State would have won. Weird ending to the game. They gave up too many big plays as well in the passing game. You just can't let. I don't know what they were doing on defense, but you just I don't know. They're just leaving guys on islands out there. They got torched like 3 times for long balls. Like you just can't give up. Yeah. Oregon did play well. It's very.
And yeah, that is a program with legitimate NFL talent on it.
I like their coach a lot, Dan Lanning.
Yeah, boy, he was fired up after that game.
He was. I like him though. I especially liked when they went and stomped on Colorado last year. That was great.
Yeah.
All right. So the stadium stuff is official.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to come out and today, and they announced that this thing is going down $2.4 billion, right? Mayor Justin Bibb blasted the Browns ownership after he said the team informed him they will be walking away from downtown for a new stadium in Brook Park. In the news conference at City Hall on Thursday, the mayor said he was deeply, he said deeply twice, just pointing that out, deeply disappointed by the move, which he said would hurt downtown and the county at large. In recent weeks, the city had even floated the idea of building the team a new stadium on the site now occupied by Burke Lakefront Airport. Bibb said, it's the wrong time not to choose Cleveland and the wrong time not to choose our lakefront in downtown, the mayor said. Browns changed directions in 2022 when they were talking about doing the renovation. And they basically said, this is just a short-term solution to what we really want. Dee and Jimmy want their legacy, basically. Acknowledged late Thursday afternoon today. The team is now zeroing in on the Brook Park deal. So that's $1.2 billion
Billy with
that
a
they will
B.
be asking for in public money case.
That's criminal right there. That last part's criminal. Like this is the future. You're trying to make it a destination. There's like so much you can do on the lake, not good access. A lot of things going against you there. So you want to build up this pavilion and this destination for things more than just Browns games, concerts, Super Bowls, NCAA, all the things that'll be on the table at that point. But $2.4 billion, you're going to try to get help with that from the public. That's going to fall on some deaf ears right there.
Well, here's the problem. I don't know this to be fact. I don't even know if they're going to have to take it to a vote.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Because there was some speculation that they may just do these, what are they called? Oh, my God. I'm losing my mind because I'm trying to keep
Is it a city official type word?
No, it's their bonds. They're going to do these bonds or whatever that won't need public approval to get it. Yeah, they're sneaky, man.
Will it be the city or will it be the county at that point? Because doesn't this fall outside of city limits, or will they change that if that moves there and that'll become city limits?
I don't know. But I don't know the details there. I tried to get our guy from Chris. Is that his name?
Yeah, we had him on. We had him on when they announced all this stuff. We were talking about the land bridge back then. Like,
yeah, Nick Castell from. I tried to have him on. He's busy tonight, but I tried to get him on from Signal Cleveland, and bonds plus some private equity stake. I'm guessing, says Barry. Yeah, so or equity sale, and that's probably what you're looking at, and that may be enough to get it done. Barry's been saying this, or not Barry. Sorry, Barry. Pete's been saying this for a while. Is that they're going to start at 1.2. They'll probably they're going to grease some palms politically. Some politicians are going to come forward and say, "Hey, we talked them down to like 800 million.
It's a steal."
And they're gonna look good, to get them to look good, and then it'll get pushed through or whatever. So, I don't think that they're going to have an issue.
A lot of people stand to make a lot of money. When things like that happens, it's tough to get in the way of it.
Man, Gardo's got a guy on second. Quan up 2 outs. Tough spot here. Rocchio, who's been hot, flied out. Yeah. But yeah, so they're going to Brook Park. I mean, do you, Chad? Does the chat have a problem with them going to Brook Park? Like, I see a lot of people upset about this. Are you upset about this?
No, I haven't been.
No.
Like, this is the way of the future, man. Like, I grew up going to Muni. You know what I mean? I grew up going to Municipal Stadium.
Same.
As a kid, it was a cool experience, but like this logistical nightmare where you build it on a lake, you can only approach it from so many directions. Parking's
It is.
limited. You're just limited in that way when you put something up against a lake. I get why you did it when you did it, but like you don't have to do that. And it's when they rushed back and threw a stadium together, you know, we're lucky they played there that long. And at this point, that thing's in bad need of repair. And instead of just putting good money on top of bad money to try to repair that thing, like do the right thing, build a state-of-the-art facility and have it so you're not just 8 games a year and hopefully the playoffs. You can use it year round. It'll bring people from all around. The long term, it's the best thing you can do.
It is. It clearly is. I wish there was a way to keep it downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
If you could build that same kind of facility with parking and everything downtown, it'd be a no-brainer.
It's just there's not, I don't think it's feasible. I feel bad for, like, there's a human element to this.
Yeah.
For like the businesses and stuff that downtown are going to take a hit on this. They walked Quan. They're going to take a hit on this, and that's unfortunate. But you can't. What are we going to do? You can't get in the way of growth sometimes.
Because that's what I'm saying. If so many people stand to make money, it's good luck getting in the way of that. Like there's going to be billions of dollars made off this.
Yeah. Looks like Yankees going to the bullpen. 2 on, 2 outs. They smartly walked Quan. Yeah, all parking will be at. I mean, it's gonna be there's gonna be massive parking. I think. Do we still have?
It's right across from the airport. Like there's a lot of like logistical things you've solved by doing this.
Yeah. We had the rendering. Yeah, here it is.
One thing I haven't heard be discussed that I really hope, because they have the Ring of Honor and they have these Browns Legends clubs. I hope there's a physical embodiment, a physical Browns Hall of Fame you can go to on site. For me, I think that to me that is a no-brainer.
I mean, look at that. That looks spectacular.
And I've heard some of the criticisms, but like a lot of the problem is the people that have gotten these stadiums. Like if you look at like Vegas and Los Angeles, because those are destination cities, a lot of the times there will be more away fans than home fans.
Yeah.
That's not true here. This is more of a Vikings scenario.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Very more apropos to that. And people talk about sterile environments, which, when you get these indoor stadiums, it's only sterile if the fans allow it to be.
Yeah. It's going to be so loud.
Yes.
Like, indoor stadiums are louder.
Yeah.
If the Browns fans just continue being who they are and the loyal fan base they are, it will be loud. Like,
imagine the sounds of the boos in that place this weekend.
Yeah, right. But it will. I mean, look at that. You're basically outside.
Yeah, man. You know how a tough sell it was for me to get my wife to go see a game in December?
Sure. Be a tough sell for me.
That life, that's freezing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm dumb. I'll do it, no problem. But I'll be able to take my children. You know what I mean? And in January, and it won't be. Look at it.
Yeah, Paul's saying would have been nice to have built it on the Burke lakefront site. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's a 13-minute drive. It's not bad
No,
from
no, yeah,
that's from downtown, and you gotta remember that the majority of the people that are going to these games don't live in downtown Cleveland.
yes,
It's
yes.
Northeast Ohio. Some people, this place is gonna be closer.
Yeah, for me, for when I drive up, when I
Yeah,
was growing up in Chillicothe, this would have been way closer and way easier to get out of. Like, for me to get south of Cleveland is an hour after games because of the logistical nightmare of parking and the way that everything bottlenecks coming out of downtown. Um, yeah, this is. It'll be nostalgic, man. I remember, like I said, going to the Muni when I was a kid, man. Like that's we're going to miss that part of it. Hopefully, they can build a tradition and everything over there so it doesn't feel sterile out of town. Yeah, I was thinking that, Paul. If you think about San Francisco 49ers played nowhere near San Francisco. I think they
yeah,
play in
I've
Santa
been there.
Clara,
Yeah.
and both New York teams play in New Jersey.
Yeah, there's a lot like this. It's not Foxborough. Yeah, it's not anything new. This whole moving out of Cleveland is, yeah, it's not. They're not moving out of Cleveland. It's Cleveland. No, am I wrong?
No, no, dude. People are going to want to say it like the Brook Park Browns. You're going to hear that a lot. Oh
Yeah,
well, like no, man. Many other fan bases have had to deal with this to a much greater degree. Um, Dallas doesn't play in Dallas. Jerry World's not in Dallas. It's still the Dallas Cowboys. So it's just the way of the future, man. Can't get in the way of progress.
it is. It is exactly that. And David Fry is up with 2 on. Otani went yard again. It's still Cleveland. It's Cleveland. You're the Cleveland Browns. It's just like Minnesota and Detroit. It's gonna be beautiful. Um, I feel for the human side, like I said, the
Mhm.
businesses. But it is a good move, as Mark is saying, best move for the Browns made in a long time. So, um, yeah. So you've got that, which a lot of people are spinning into a negative. Basically, it has a lot to do with what's going on with the
I was about
team
to
right
say
now.
if they were 4-2, I don't think it
Yes.
feels the same.
The timing,
Yeah,
not ideal. I mean, the
the
timing of
ball's
all
on
of
them to
this
announce it right
crazy.
now.
You get the Cooper trade, the Chubb coming back, the letter from him, which is like, gives you a positive and also like a positive, shining a light on the organization positively from Chubb
Mhm. He
in the
knows the
middle
score.
of like everybody bashing this organization, and then you've got the move. So,
I'm
and
surprised they didn't have Chubb announce this.
I can't believe this. I absolutely what a that them blowing that lead. It's hard to stomach. Yeah, so that's where we're at. A lot going on this week. Remember when halftime Casey was a trumpet player? All right. We got important stuff to cover because we haven't
Super
covered
Bowl
this with
3.
Casey yet. This is critical stuff. We have not covered this with Casey yet. He was not here when we covered this, but the originator or the origination, we don't know originally.
Yeah, remember my vote was Jim Bob Cooter.
Jim Bob Cooter.
That was my
It
vote. That was my
it was
guess.
long ago, Chris, where the turkey hole shot came from. But we don't know. We just heard Orlovsky drop it
Casually. Just slip it in
very
there.
casually. Might
Slip it
have
right in
been
the
a
turkey
bet.
hole.
I mean, we've talked about this. It could have been he could have lost a bet, right?
Yeah. I dare you to say that in this next segment.
Yeah, like you did. I
I
haven't been
did.
on yet, by the way, since then.
Yeah, I have. I took this week off, and next week I will be celebrating my 10-year anniversary with my wife, so
Oh,
I'll be out of the state.
oh
So
no.
not on next week.
Is it missing? It could be missing, Case.
Is it in the turkey hole? Did you
Oh
check the
no.
turkey hole?
This is a disaster. Where has it gone to?
Simple answer. It's in the turkey hole, man.
The,
You'll
I'll
never
find
find
it.
it.
I will find it. Yeah, so anyways, I thought I had it saved. I dropped the ball big time. I got you all ready to watch it and everything. Did I send it to you ever, Case?
No, but I was actually able to go back and listen to you and Jacob talk about it after the fact, and I shouldn't have been
I know.
surprised at where it came from.
Oh, here it is. I did send it to you, you liar.
You sent it to me.
What?
You didn't send it to me.
Yes, I did. Check your
No way.
DMs. Anyways, so while
Oh
I'm
no! Now Brad's in the turkey hole.
getting this spread and sneaking around doing stuff they shouldn't be on my computer. Yeah, so what do you expect on Sunday? Bengals have a good offense, terrible defense. Browns are terrible on both sides
We've
of the
played
ball.
several teams with terrible defenses so far, and it hasn't boded well for us. So I
Yep.
can't bank on that, but I can bank on the Browns are constructed on defense to stop a team like Cincinnati. That is just the way it's worked out. I don't think it was done with intentionality because Bengals drafted some of these players after you already kind of started this progression. But you can. This is a very good Bengals offense, but it's been a very good Bengals offense every time we've stopped them.
Yeah,
So.
I agree. They match up well. For some reason, Stefanski just has he kind of owns them. Now, they are a much better football team than us at this point. Like, don't let the record confuse.
Yeah, they could very easily be 5-1.
Yeah, we do need Ward on Chase.
I agree. And Emerson on T. Higgins. Let's do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
They got worse at running back, and I like Moss, but Mixon was a better fit for what they do.
Do you think who's the next player traded off the Browns?
Great question.
Greg Newsome.
Yeah, I've seen rumors about the Texans today. Some Texans
about Newsome.
Some Texan sites are. They were at first they were thinking they were going to make a run at Patrick Surtain, and they're pivoting to Greg Newsome.
Really?
Yeah, it's just noise, but that's how it starts.
Yep.
Let's get the noise started.
Yep. All right.
I'm seeing some people think that it's going to be Za'Darius in the chat.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a bigger likelihood it would be Za'Darius had Alex Wright not gotten hurt.
Yeah.
You're in a tough spot without Alex Wright. Someone to play strong side edge. I don't know if you want to give McGuire that big of a slice of pie this quick. Ogbo can't do those things. Ogbo is a good edge rusher, but he's not setting an edge against a rush.
Yeah, I don't think you can personally. All right. We ready for this now?
Hell yeah.
I worked hard to get here, so.
Gobble, gobble, mother sucker.
Packers showing blitz. Stafford brought T.J. Jones closer to the line, and Abdullah ahead for another yard. Another tackle by Blake Martinez, who seems to have a higher tackle total every week. Here's Dwayne Washington, their short yardage running back coming in.
You notice, whoever made this video is very focused on the turkey hole as well.
Yeah, how could you not be? I don't know how it eluded me.
Yeah. How could you not be? That's a great question. How could you not be focused on where this came? Yeah, so he's laying it out here on the video. Okay, I digress. Let's continue.
Career high last week for Martinez in their last game 2 weeks ago. 15 tackles against the New Orleans Saints.
I'm surprised Matt Stafford has run the ball 2 times in a row. Obvious pressure man to man.
Good percentage on third down, particularly given that they've had almost 7 yards to go on third down on average tonight. Stafford, they brought extra rushers, got nowhere near him, and it's another completion on third down. This one to T.J. Jones.
Unbelievable. He throws the ball between a corner and a safety. This is 2 trap. It's a blitz. They're going to bring edge pressure from both sides, and the corner is going to roll up. And watch Stafford fit the ball in the hole between the corner and the safety. I don't advise this at home. What a throw by Matt Stafford. I call that the turkey hole. Don't ask me why, but Brad Johnson taught me that a long time ago when I was coaching Tampa. He says, hey, Coach, I think I can fit it between a corner and a safety. Look at that, the turkey.
Well, why? You don't know. You call the turkey
Brad
hole,
Johnson
but you don't know
called
why.
it. But let me show you what the turkey hole is. It's the turkey hole. It's the area when the corner rolls up, there's a hole between the safety and the corner. It's not an easy throw. You got to be able to rifle it in there, Sean. And I had a quarterback here in Green Bay who was able to do that at a high level. And now I'm watching, that's right, I'm watching one here, Matt Stafford, who makes a living putting the ball right there in the turkey hole.
He's a terrific talent, obviously. Abdullah fighting for every inch.
Let me show you some of this turkey hole. Here's Brett Favre in 1992 with the game on the line, jamming the ball between the corner and the safety to Kendrick Taylor. That's the turkey hole. And last week, you got to have a cannon. Here's Matt Stafford rifling the ball between the corner and the safety. That's outstanding work. Fun to watch. You can have a great imagination when you have a quarterback like Matt Stafford.
Well, I think we're going to have a replay review here. The officials are still trying to figure out whose ball it is as the ball came out at the end of that play. For the moment, they're saying Green Bay ball.
You see all the turkey holes on the screen?
Yeah, I did. Gotta love it. Although it's a little bit of revisionist history because when he coached Brett, he had not yet coached Brad Johnson. So he didn't know it was called a turkey hole when Brett was doing that.
No, he did not. That's a fact. The
but how much he was ready. He was like, look, I'm going to make this a part of football lexicon. I'm going to get this in the vernacular of football fans. And he had a slideshow with the turkey hole diagram. He was all in, man. God bless him. God bless him for that.
Yeah. Gruden, you had to think that Gruden was involved in this at some point, right?
I should have. That's my fault for not.
I should have thought of that.
Yeah, I didn't. Have you seen his TikTok, by the way?
What?
Gruden's TikTok.
No.
It's unhinged. You got to see it. If you're listening to this, seek it out. I don't even have TikTok. You can find it. I promise. Just you can look it up it'll be on Twitter. People will repost it on Twitter. He's like sitting in a dark room with like he's being interrogated, reading stats. It's unhinged. It's worth it. I promise.
What is he losing his mind or something?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and he's like barking like you got to see it. I can't make this up. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Nasty work from Coach.
It's a TikTok.
Yeah, but people will post on Twitter. If you just type in Jon Gruden videos, it'll be him in a dark room. It's recent, last week, 2 weeks. Yeah. Him just reading stats. And I don't know, man. It's very deranged.
I have a bunch of him in front of a whiteboard.
That ain't it. If I could find that, I will send it to you. Give me 1 second. Filibuster, Bradley.
Latest. This is from
Put Jon Gruden TikTok in mine.
Jon Gruden Broncos Saints preview. Is a video I didn't know I wanted or needed. Absolutely excellent.
All right, I'm going to send it to you via Twitter, I guess.
Yeah, fire away. Let's
No,
do it.
Okay. I just fired in the old turkey hole. You got it.
Turkey hole checking. Got it.
He's slowly losing his mind, dude. It's amazing.
All right, hold on. Let's see if we can get this going here. Let's see if we can get that out of here. All right, let's see if we can get this focused in on what we need to get this up. They're going to the bottom of the ninth, down one, I think. Run down. Oh, he dropped the ball. Hold on, I don't know what's going on. I just turned to it. Nope, we're still in the field. It's all bad. I'll just tell you that. It's all bad. Can't get much worse. Guardians thought they were gonna pull one off for us, make us feel good, take us to a game 4, give us a chance. Class A, absolutely.
Shit the bed.
What a disappointment. I mean, come on, bro. Just brutal stuff. Here we are. Billy on X.
Billy hot takes.
All right. All right. Are we ready for this?
No one's ready for this.
Nobody's ready for this?
This is a treat.
All right.
Coach is pivoting.
All right. Here we go, Coach.
You know, when I was calling plays, I just loved it when our quarterback.
Can you hear that?
I can hear that.
Chat, can you hear that? I hope so. Let me turn it up. All right, here we go. Starting them over.
You know, when I was calling plays, I just loved it when our quarterback shredded the defense. I mean, just ripped them. That's what has me feeling really nicey. Like watching Jared Goff go 18 for 18, 292 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Got me feeling nicey.
I couldn't do that pregame warm-up. Oh, James Daniels, just a rookie, 26 out of 30, 87%, 231 yards. He rushes for 47. He's doing everything. Shredded, baby. Oh, CJ Stroud, 345 yards, brings the Texans back, wins it at the buzzer. Shred him, Stroud. Oh, Baker Mayfield coming off a tough loss, 345 yards in the hot, humid Tampa Bay weather. Heat them up, Mayfield. Keep shredding them, baby. Oh, Sam Darnold.
What is going on?
I'm telling you.
75 yards, 3 touchdowns. Go to Lambeau Field and win again, baby. Keep it rolling, Sam. Shred them. Oh.
Dear God, that's scary.
I told you, man. I wasn't lying. I wouldn't lie to you.
It.
Wouldn't lie to you. Wouldn't lie to the chat. He's unhinged, right? Like that's the word I used for it.
He is unhinged.
Very unhinged from Gruden.
Yeah, my God.
He was barking or something. It was
but yelling at the same time. I don't even
The
know.
look in his
Like
eyes, dude, like that was
he looked like he was on
bath salt or something.
yeah, the drugs, some serious hardcore
meth. What's going on, Gru?
Yeah, that was bad. Drugs, yes, agreed. Broken arrow looked like drugs. He really looks like he has a serious problem.
I can't wait to watch more.
He looks like he's been in that room for like he's all sweaty.
Tell you like an
He looks like he's
interrogation
been
or
in there
something. I don't
for
know what was happening.
days. It's like he's been in there for just days and days
Let
staring
him
at
cook.
video.
Let him cook. That's for our entertainment now.
Good Lord.
It's a hell of a pivot for Coach.
Yeah. God. All because that his whole life got dismantled and derailed because what's his name in Washington?
Dan Snyder got caught up.
Dan Snyder.
Yeah.
Was, it released a bunch of emails.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I mean, he would. I know. 5-3. I know. Class A. It's gonna be hard to stomach that one, folks. All right, let's go down the list. Chubb is a hero.
Amen.
A man of the people.
Yeah.
A reason to go, a reason to root, a reason to cheer amongst all of the nonsense.
And everyone needs to hear this. If you have not read his article in the Players Tribune,
please read it.
As soon as this is over, go do yourself a favor.
Please read it. Amari Cooper gone for a third and a pick swap. Probably the best you're going to get for him. It helps that you're not paying, like you already converted all the money. What made this possible is because he's only getting paid like $800K.
Yeah.
We're eating $25 million.
Yep.
But I think this was the best you're going to get for him.
Because if someone had to eat that money, you're probably getting a 6th or a 7th. If someone had to eat that money. So
and to Pete's point last night, I think it does signify at least a willingness to not be double down all in on Watson to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Because if they were doing that, I don't think they move off of him. Because they would want him to look better.
Yeah.
No?
No, I don't know. It's hard. I can't forecast their plan with Deshaun Watson past the absurdities that we've already witnessed. But it, and the thing that I pivot to, because look, it's a win-win. You get a 3rd round pick. He gets to go to a contender. Cool. What the Browns, AB keeps doing right by people. That's one thing you do see when they move off of. So you send them to a contender. I wish it wasn't in our conference, whatever. But now I pivot to who benefits, who gets. How does the reps look? How does the share? Now, if the quarterback can't throw accurately, who gives a shit? But like just in general, is this free up? Do we see Jamari Thrash this weekend? Even does that put him in a reserve role as hopefully more moves outside? Like I just want to see what the dynamic looks like.
Yeah. I think that I want to see Jamari Thrash. So I'm hoping this makes him active on game day.
Yeah, because if this was all done to get Kadarius Toney on the field, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. I think it was done for the pick, but ultimately...
Yeah, I get you.
You're going to get... I mean, so Judy goes to your 1. The problem is you're not going to get a legitimate evaluation of any of these receivers as long as Watson is playing.
Yeah, that was my contention 2 weeks ago. He's the one thing you can move off of, and I can actually evaluate what's going on. Until then, we're just witnessing like epic, so inaccurate. So there's no timing, there's no rhythm, there's no fluidity to the offense. It's all clunky and broken, and
it is
riddled with 3 and outs.
It's all bad. and that's where we are. So with that, right? So we want to reevaluate these receivers, but you're going to have a hard time doing that until you move off of Watson, which I think could come sooner than later, but we'll see. Cooper goes to the question. Did they, I mean, you had to do it now because you're 1-5, but should the Browns, I think the Browns made the right decision in not extending him, and based on his play so far this year. I don't know. I think he'll probably go play well in Buffalo. But that doesn't mean that he was going to play well here.
No, he's in a better situation. He's in a functional offense with a functional quarterback.
Right.
And he's a professional wide receiver who can run depth routes. As long as the quarterback understands where the depth of the route's going to be, Amari will be there. And the one thing, like, I don't like looking backwards too much because it's like doesn't do any good. But you remember how he talked about Joe Flacco? I remember Amari talking about like what a catchable ball he threw and stuff like that. Those are things we never heard him say about Watson.
Yeah.
And we'll see if that's true with how he talks about Allen going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw I forget who it was, but they had it made me want to cry, honestly. It was a picture of Cooper last year when they were going down the final stretch. He had the slime. Flacco was sitting in his chair with the slime glasses.
Yeah.
And it was like, take me back. And I was just like, man.
Yeah. Simpler times, right?
It's hard, man. It's hard. I know it's hard to be a Browns fan right now. It will get better. I promise you. It will get better.
It's always darkest before the dawn, baby.
Yeah. So, and you get to watch Nick Chubb play but football this Sunday. So, even if it's just for a few carries, it's worth it, I think. So, I'll stand up for the man.
I just hope he rips one and the crowd erupts and they get to fill that and he gets to fill them. I think that'd be huge.
Yeah. Agreed. So, Stefanski and Barry surviving this, is that still your belief?
Yeah, because I believe that this is, for what it's worth, this is them being in lockstep. Just again, it just doesn't feel positive. But as of right now, today, I don't think it's in danger. But it's how much heat does Jimmy get? That could change the equation. But I also think there's a third player in this we don't talk about that exists, and he was the one that wasn't extended this offseason in DePodesta.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how much DePodesta is involved in the decision making.
No, it doesn't matter. He'll be publicly the fall guy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
he could be.
No one knows what he does.
Nope. Yeah. I mean, I think it's more about like process stuff, but like
help set up the guardrails, those things. And, I'm sure his opinion's asked on certain things.
Yeah. I mean, so it's mentioned in the chat here that at the owners meetings, Goodell mentioned that he's still involved or they're still investigating Watson. I don't believe him.
How much of the investigation was already launched when the settlement happened? What did they uncover anything?
They weren't set to meet with her for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's settled before then.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's going to be 100% based on that one thing.
That I know, but I'm just saying, like, how much really evidence can they gather without cooperation from the victim?
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have settled it if the victim didn't sign
an NDA
on not cooperating with the NFL.
Yeah.
The only way he's paying that money is if she's not talking to the NFL.
Which is possible. Look, the NFL, you don't have to be found guilty to get suspended. They just have to find you in violation. And how much of a hard on did that she have, the leading investigator have to get Watson? I don't know. I'm not hopeful. I'm not hopeful that it doesn't feel like he's going to be suspended, but it's the NFL, man.
Great point, Rob. Boy, that double play really kills you now since he hits a double off the wall. So annoying. All right. Listen, thank you guys for watching tonight. Nick Chubb Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Divisional play starts. Root for the man that deserves it. Okay. Hop in back with us on Things I Think I Know tomorrow night. It might just be me and Case Dog again. Might be. You might get a double dip of Case and Brad this week. Your lucky day. Your lucky night.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, world. No, I'm just kidding. Hit like, hit subscribe on your way in or out. Atone for your sins. And yeah, I am having a crisis. It is so true. It is so true. I am having a crisis over this baseball game. Thanks, guys, for saying good show. I know it was probably not the best.
We saved it with the Gruden stuff. I think that.
Yeah, so, but thank you guys. And I will see you tomorrow night on Things I Think I Know. Much love to you guys. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate you. I know it's tough out there. We'll get through it together. Keep showing up. Keep showing out. Tell a friend. Hit like. Subscribe. Appreciate you all. Have a wonderful night. For Casey Kinnamon, my name is Brad Ward. Go read everything at the OBR. We are out.